Hi guys, welcome back to UKFlyFisher. I have something a little bit different today. So this is not quite a lure and it's not quite natural, and it kind of feels that happy medium that kind of settles both categories. Now the reason for this fly is towards the end of March, April and May, the temperature starts to warm up and the fish haven't switched off the lures yet, but they're not quite fully on the naturals yet. So we're going to set up our casts in a sort of intermediate that settles both categories and gives you the best chance of catching fish. So this is the lure we'd put on the front. It's a very small lure and it looks a lot more natural than most lures you'll see on the market. And then we're going to fish that with two droppers, usually cormorants or crunchers. And as I said, you cover both scenarios then, and it gives you a really good chance of catching fish. So without any further delay, let me show you how I tie my dirty gold-ribbed hare's ear. So because we want this lure to be smaller and we're fishing it more naturally with a team of flies like cormorants and crunchers, we've gone for the Fario wet fly in size 10. And then we're going to be using a 140 olive UTC for tying on the fly. So I'm just going to start at the head area, come about halfway back before coming back to the front. And I'm going to stop about 3 or 4 mil from the eye of the hook. Now the reason for this is where we're going to tie the eyes in. So cut away that waste piece. So for the eyes, we're going to be using 3mm gold chain bead. And we're just going to figure 8 these in to begin with. And then when it starts getting a bit tighter, I take 3 turns around each side of the eyes. And then back to the figure 8. Just see how they're sitting now. Yeah, they're sitting perfectly. So I'm just going to give a few more tight turns. Again, around the eye. Round this eye and then back like so. Then I'm just going to put a layer of tying silk down, and as you can see here, we're starting to taper towards the front, which is what we want to achieve with this fly. Now for the tail, we're going to be using black Marabou. This is blob and buzzers, but any Marabou will suffice. Just going to pinch off about 1 inch of fibres and then clump them together like so. And then all I'm going to do then is come in and cut away all this waste of the material. Pull out any loose bits so we've got a neater tying point, and then tie it just behind the eyes and bring our tying silk all the way down the back of this fly. Last turn we go underneath to stop the tail from spinning, keep it on top nicely, and then we're going to take a few turns back up. Now this tail is way too long. As I said, we're going for a mini lure, and it's just basically one we're going to slowly figure 8 back with a team of nymphs on the droppers. So we're looking for roughly the size of the hook here. So just come in, pinch away any bits that don't fit, like so, and then that's perfect. We've got a small little tail here. We're not going for a massive lure. We're just going for something that looks a bit more natural, but is still going to grab the trout's attention. Now in the flash and the tail, we've got 2 materials. We've got a holographic fine gold tinsel. This one's from UKFlyFisher. And we're going to combine that with Fenyard's Mirror Krinkle Flash. This is the Peacock colour, and we just want 1 strand of each. Once you've got them, line them up, offer them up to the side of the fly, like so. And then before I go any further down, I'm going to bring the other 2 parts up and between the eyes, catch it in, and again just make my way down. Hold them both on the side of the hook and tie them in like so, and then come away and snip them to the length of the tail. Now before I carry on, I'm just going to see how they're sitting. So on your side they could come up a tiny bit like so, and on my side they look okay. So that looks good to me. Now for the rib of the fly, we're going to be using a small gold wire. This is UTC again. And all we're going to do is lay this up to the side, again catch it in. The reason I keep tying the entire length is we're trying to build up a bit of a body here, like so. And then the last thing that we need on this material is the body material, and we've got the UKFF hare's ear here. This is a great buggy material, combines a natural hare's ear colour with a claret and a black, and it really does work really well. Gives you sort of a darker hare's ear, which is what I've preferred over the years. So when Vicuna Dubbin offered to make this, we were over the moon, and we finally found a colour we're happy with for our hare's ears. So I'm just going to start by tying that in. And as I go, I'm just going to make sure that it's nice and tight in the beginning. We can get it a bit looser as we go up, like so. Now I'm going to need to add some more there, which is fine. I like adding little bits here and there rather than chucking a load on and ending up with too much. So again, just going to catch that in place. And as we come forwards here, we're going to stop for a second to tie in that rib. So we're going to go with open turns, not too far apart, to make sure the ribbon's nice and secure. Come in over the top, 1, 2 in front, behind the material, 1, 2 in front, and then bend and break away. Like so. Now all I do here, you don't have to do the step, but I do it, is I'm going to bulk up the head area going between the eyes and around that collar with a bit more dubbing. Using the same dubbing again, so I'm just going to trap it in there and then just going to use my fingers to make sure it's nice and secure. And then all that's left to do is remove any waste piece and come in with your whip finishing tool. Now you can put some varnish on the tongue silk if you want. I'm just going to leave it. It's pre-waxed thread, it's really strong, so 3 whip finishes, and then I pull backwards. This again clears the eye, so pulling backwards clears the eye of the materials that were laying over the top of it, makes it easier to thread your fluorocarbon through. Come away, snip away the waste piece, and that's your finished fly. Now there's a few pieces that I don't like that are a bit too long, so at the back here we've got 2 standing up here. One on this side, it's a tiny bit too long for me. And then at the front again, we've just got a few here. So I'm going to put my scissors at a diagonal. And I don't want to cut away too much because I want some of the natural taper stem fibres. And there's a few underneath we can get rid of. Now if you really wanted to clear up the front, you could come in with a lighter. But for me, this fly is meant to be buggy. It's meant to be scruffy. So there we have it. That is the Dirty Gold Rib Hare's ear. As you can see there, it's a great little lure. I'm going to put that on with a team of naturals. Now, 2 flies I love fishing this with are cormorants. I'd use the electric blue flash cormorant and then probably a quilled cormorant as the top dropper in a smaller size. As I say, it's not quite natural fishing, it's not quite lure fishing, it's a happy intermediate, and it's this kind of thing on this fish when the temperatures start to warm up. As I say, it's not boiling yet, but we are coming into spring now. Temperatures will start to rise, and mixing up sort of lures and naturals together can often prove deadly. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn the notification icon on so you never miss an episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.